Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the finale for the 9th round of the Project Pan Roulette that my friend Alexi and I started forever ago. This Project Pan is like definitely one of the major pillars to my YouTube channel for sure, and like my journey on YouTube, because we started this project just the two of us as a fun way to collaborate, just to try something new and to try something different. And then all of a sudden this project kind of exploded. We had other people curious to want to join us, and so we opened it up to everyone who wanted to participate. And this project has just been such a huge, wild experience, like in the best way possible. I can't even believe that we are concluding the 9th round of this project already today, because it feels like we just did the first round, like not even that long ago. It's so wild. And I look back on this project super fondly because it has grown a lot throughout like the seasons of my own makeup journey, or my own panning journey rather. Like a few rounds back, we decided that we were ready to introduce new categories to this project, so we kind of crowdsourced. Everyone came together and commented and shared their ideas for new categories for this Project Pan. So it's grown and it's become this like community thing, not just me and Alexi, but there's so many other people participating in this project on Instagram, on YouTube, in Discord. I'll have all of the information for this project down in the description box, by the way, but yeah, it's just been so fun. It's been so wild to see it happen and like be a part of it. And unfortunately for me right now, just where my head's at in this moment, I don't know that I'm ready to do another round of this project. It's possible I could change my mind come September. We kind of started doing this as an annual thing a couple years back, as opposed to like multiple rounds a year, which is where we had been doing it before, because so many people wanted to do this project and it was so fun. It really was so fun, and it still is. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just kind of on this different path when it comes to panning. I'm really trying to find my rhythm, my balance, and just like my own personal YouTube journey as well is a part of that. So I don't want to overwhelm myself with products I'm panning or videos that I have to film. So I just don't think that I'm ready to do this project again in September. That could quite possibly change. So keep an eye out in my community tab if we're gonna do this as like a collaborative kind of community thing again. But that being said, you are more than welcome to do this project independently, whether you want to do it here on YouTube or over on Instagram or wherever you want to do it. Feel free to take that spreadsheet. You can even add to it if you wanted to. Feel free to do this project in any capacity that you want at any time that you want. It doesn't have to be like with Alexi and I kind of taking the lead on it. That's absolutely not necessary at all. It would actually be a lot of fun to see other people still doing this project, and I have seen over the past few years people doing this project in their own kind of way and taking it on in their own, with their own twist. It's been so much fun. So I don't want to put a damper on this video or on this finale, because I'm just not sure if I'm ready to continue doing this, but I did feel like it needed to be said because I have been asked a couple times, like, when is the next round starting? For those who didn't have an opportunity to join this time. Feel free to just jump in and do it whenever you want. Feel free, for sure. You can work on 3 products if you want. You can work on 10 products if you want. You could do this for an entire year. Please, please, please just take it and run with it and make it what you want it to be, because that's what it has been this entire time. My friend Alexi, who is the co-creator of this Project Pan, will be linked down in the description box and in the end card of today's video as always. And yeah, let's just get on into all of the products that I have been working on for the past month. Let's wrap up this project. I'm actually really excited to share with you the progress that I've made. I feel like this round was extremely successful for me, even though I was feeling, you know, a little bit like overwhelmed with project panning. I used the prompts strategically and I was able to pull products that I was really happy and really excited to be working on. So yeah, the first item I want to share with you is a product that I selected right at the introduction of this Project Pan actually. So I've had it in for the 4 full months of this project. I pulled it for the category A brand you no longer support, I believe. A brand you no longer purchase from. You'd think I'd have that figured out by now, what the exact wording is, but I don't. It'll all be on the screen. And the product that I selected for that prompt was the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. So this I think is like the original shade, but it's not the lightest shade anymore. Anyways, I no longer purchase from this brand, so I honestly am not really keeping up with like what the shade range is looking like. But I've had this in my collection for quite some time. This was a repurchase for me several years back because I did use up an entire one of the butter bronzer in the past because I loved it. This has like a soft, satiny kind of finish with a coconutty scent, which I personally really like. And I do have a fragrance allergy, but I find it doesn't irritate my skin. And then it has this beautiful like neutral to yellow kind of undertone that I think just works so well on my personal coloring. Not at all the point. I want to share with you really the progress more than anything than like actually reviewing the product, but I digress. So I had already like a sizable amount of pan in here. You know, it was definitely noticeable. It was very much apparent. And all I wanted to do in this project was to continue working on it, see where I could get with it, and continue to make some progress. So I'm really happy to report that over the course of the last 4 months, I have made really great progress on it. I feel like the pan has expanded really substantially. And I do feel like later this year, if I were to dedicate like 4, 5, 6 months to it, like at max 6 months, I could finish this off. And that's something that I do plan to do. I want to eventually roll this into my 2022 rolling project pan. But I'm happy that I'm wrapping up this project to kind of take a little bit of a break and show some of my other bronzers some love. But you can see, like, there's pretty significant pan in here. It's getting very thin. It is starting to get to the point where sometimes when I'm trying to pick it up on my brush, it actually does kind of break up a little bit where it's very thin closest to the pan there. So I may end up repressing this before I do put it into a future project pan, but only time will tell. I am definitely ready to get this out of my life though. The packaging is busted and bulky. And yeah, I just want to love on my entire bronzer collection for a short while before I just bite the bullet and finish this. But it would be really cool to actually be able to see this as an empty by the end of 2022. And I think that's possible for sure. So really happy to be wrapping up this project pan with major progress on this product. It wasn't really even on my radar as one that I wanted to prioritize when I rolled it into this project, but I'm so happy that I did and was able to make as much of a dent in it as I was able to do. This next product is one that's also been in the project for the entire duration, and it was for the category a product from a controversial brand. So I selected my Too Faced Hangover Primer. This is a hydrating primer, and it definitely does feel very nourishing on the skin without feeling super heavy. Like, it's kind of a little less heavy than using just something like a moisturizer, but it does provide a little bit of hydration to the skin. My goal with this was not to finish it because I barely had reached for it previous to having it in this project. I maybe had reached for it under half a dozen times, like 4 or 5 times ever. And I had it in my life for several years. It just was often getting overlooked. So I wanted to use it 25 times in order to make a pretty decent dent in the product and just to kind of ensure that I still enjoyed it and that it was getting reached for. So over the course of this project, previous to today's update, I had reached for it a total of 22 times, which was right in line to be able to get me to my goal. And I've actually reached for an additional 6 times since my last update. So I reached for it a total of 28 times through this project pan. So I did surpass my actual initial goal. I'm really happy that I continued to keep reaching for it, even though I had already reached that goal. I just felt like it was working really well in my routine. This is a product that I sometimes do wear as a kind of priming product all over the face, but more often than not, what I use this for is as a mixer for foundations to make them into more of a tinted moisturizer kind of texture without needing to actually mix it with a moisturizer, because when I do mix some of my foundation formulas with moisturizer, I just feel like it's too heavy, it's too rich on the skin, and this kind of gives me a really good feeling on the skin, and it kind of offers a little bit more longevity, or maybe I'm just making that up in my mind. But throughout this project, I was able to make a decent amount of progress as well. I started all the way up here. Like I said, I had hardly reached for it ever, and now I'm down to about here. I actually haven't made a new marking since my last update because I can't see anything past this kind of line, and when I fold down the product as far as I can, it's like literally right on that line. So I haven't made any kind of visual progress since my last update, but I did reach for it that additional 6 times. And that feels really great to make sure that the products that I actually own in my collection are getting use. Like, that hadn't been reached for in the entirety of 2020 and 2021 leading up to rolling it into this project. So I'm glad I finally did that. The next product I want to talk about is one that I rolled in update number 2, I believe, and I selected it for the prompt A Colorful Product. So the one that I wanted to work on is the e.l.f. and J. Kissa To The Rescue kind of liquid eyeshadow topper duo. I wanted to work on the green shade to fit the bill of the prompt, and this shade is called I'm Pupset. So this is a gorgeous kind of limey chartreuse green eyeshadow topper with a ton of dimensional shimmer throughout it. And it's really, really pretty, but it was a product that I hadn't been finding myself reaching for, especially as I was prioritizing my Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan. However, I wanted to set myself a goal of reaching for it 10 times in this Project Pan. And previous to today's update, I had reached for it a total of 4 times. So I just needed to reach for an additional 6 times. So a bit more than the previous month, but you know, seems totally doable. Well, unfortunately, I did not actually end up reaching my goal. I reached for it 5 more times, so better than the month prior. But I'm 1 short of my goal technically. However, I feel like 9 uses in 2 months is pretty good progress for me personally on something like this. So I am happy with the status of it, even though it's not technically all the way to my goal. But it's such a pretty shade, and it does offer really beautiful kind of finish to a lot of different eye looks. Like, I can wear this on top of golds, bronzes, I can wear it on top of tons of greens for sure, yellows, and it creates this really beautiful finish on top of the looks, and I have had a lot of fun playing with it. So I don't look at this as like a missed mark by any means, because I did have an opportunity to really put it to the test and play around with it and get to know it a little bit better. So I'm happy with the progress that I made and the variety of different looks that I had incorporated in, and that's really all that matters. It was great for over the holiday season, and I really did enjoy reaching for it. My next 3 products are actually all ones that I rolled in my last update, so I'm gonna let you know that I didn't make a ton of progress, just seeing as I only had a month, and in fact, I'm actually filming this a full week before this video is going to go up. So I'm filming this, today is the 15th. So I'm filming this pretty freaking early. I'm wrapping up this project a little bit earlier just so that I have some time to focus on my other Project Pan, but also because I just truly don't know what my schedule is gonna look like for the coming week. So I figured I would just kind of take advantage of the time now. But in any case, the 3 products that I had rolled into this project in the last update, I still feel like I want to talk about them and share my experiences with them with you. So the first item is from the prompt, a skincare item, which is great. I love rounding out project pans with a skincare or some sort of other beauty category. So I selected the Kopari Starry Eye Balm. This product has been in my collection for several years. It's one that I do have decent progress on. So I haven't looked back on what it looked like when I first rolled into this project only like 3 weeks ago. But I did already have pretty decent pan on it. It was already looking really well loved. So I would be curious to kind of see the comparison. I don't imagine it being too drastic, but the greatest thing about having this kind of as a focus product is that I was reaching for it very, very consistently. I pretty much use this every day or every other day over the last few weeks because this is so nourishing. It's a very, very balmy, kind of oily kind of product. And I mean that in a good way because it sits on the skin so well. It really does hydrate underneath my eyes. I put it on top of an eye cream to kind of like lock it in place, only in the nighttime. I don't use this during the day because I feel like it's too creamy and it makes my concealer kind of fall into my fine lines. It's been nice to integrate it into my kind of skincare routine recently because it's been so dry here, so cold. We have been in the like -10, -20 kind of degree range recently. Oh my God, in Celsius, by the way. And so my face and my eyes have been needing hydration like crazy. So this has been something that I've been reaching for so consistently and really enjoying. I don't think it's necessarily worth like the $30+ price tag, but seeing as I have it and I have had it for several years, I'm happy that I was reaching for it and that it's been able to be an integral part of my recent skincare routine. So I'm gonna keep reaching for it outside of this Project Pan just because I am motivated to use it up, and it's actually a really great product for this time of year. And one of the prompts that I pulled last update was a product that twists up. So that could be any number of products, but I selected this product that actually twists up ×2. This is the UOMA Beauty Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Duo Stick in the shade Fair Lady. It comes with a kind of cream bronzer kind of color and then a cream highlighter shade, which is like a golden kind of tone. And my goal with this was to reach for it 15 times, whether it be the bronze shade, the highlight shade, or a combination of both. 15 different uses is basically what my intentions were. And today I actually reached for it the 16th time. So I have surpassed my goal. That number seems pretty significant when I consider the fact that I filmed my last update to this video not even an entire month ago. So it was basically a product I used pretty much every single time I put makeup on my face. So that is great. It became such an integral part of my routine. I would wear it sometimes underneath of foundations or tinted moisturizers so that it would really just make a bronze kind of finish and a glow from within kind of finish on my skin. Other times I wear it on top of my base products, or if I'm not wearing a base product at all, I still would throw this onto the skin. Primarily, I've been reaching for the bronzer because this shade and this texture is so nice. But recently, weirdly enough, I've been actually mixing it with this e.l.f. eyeshadow base because this is like a beigey kind of tone and it kind of just tones down the color. It's what I'm wearing today, so it doesn't feel so like orangey and too warm, but it just creates this like very soft, almost contour-esque bronze, because although this is considered a sculpt product, the shade is very bronzy in my opinion, and it pulls very bronzy on me. I can sheer it out for sure, and it doesn't really necessarily require a mixer like this, but when I use this product with it, it kind of thins it out, it kind of tones it down, and it just makes it so seamless on the skin. So I've been really enjoying it. The highlighter shade I can throw on bare skin or on top of foundations, under foundations. I've been enjoying this product very thoroughly, and the number of uses definitely shows that, because that was a pretty steep goal for 1 month, I feel like, but I blew it out of the park and I'm really happy about that progress. And then the final product that I rolled in was for the prompt, a category you're good at panning, or, well, that was not a proper sentence structure, but like the category you're best at panning, something like that. I'll have it on the screen again. And so I selected one of my like lip gloss, lip oil kind of products, because that has been recently the type of product that I can make really good consistent progress on, and I can actually like see them to completion within Project Pans as well, because they're just so easy for me to reach for. And I had just rolled out a lip gloss previous to that update. So I selected this Merit Beauty Tinted Lip Oil in the shade Marrakech. I couldn't set myself any sort of like usage goal with this one or anything like that, but I can just let you know I have been reaching for it a lot. There is no sort of like visual progress on it. I tried to leave it standing up on my desk all night, and I didn't put it on today so that in case something would settle, we would be able to tell, but nothing has settled. There's no visible windows or anything through this product, but I can tell you, and I hope you believe me, that I have been reaching for this a lot, pretty much every day in some capacity, because I've just been leaving it on my desk. So when I'm working, I can just throw it on whenever I feel like I need a little bit of lip balm, a little bit of hydration. So I've been reaching for it an awful lot, just sheerly because it's accessible and it's very comfortable. And it does bring a little bit of life and color to my face as well. So nothing to note on like visually on this product, but I have been really enjoying reaching for it, and I'm happy that I did prioritize it. And here is a swatch of it. It is such a beautiful corally kind of muted color. So it's super easy to wear with almost any kind of look. And even if I have minimal makeup or pretty dramatic makeup, like something like I'm wearing today, I feel like I can just toss it on and it works, and it fades really like nicely as well on the lips. So like if I'm eating or I'm talking a lot and it fades, it just fades very gracefully, but it does fade kind of quickly. Also, that's one thing that I would note about this formula. It's not like long lasting, but that's because it's very oily, it's very thin, it's very comfortable as opposed to like a rich, thick, sticky kind of lip balm or lip gloss. So I have been really enjoying it, and I just feel like it's extremely versatile. So it's been getting frequent use for me. But yes, that is absolutely everything for today's video. That's everything for this round of Roulette PanCollab. I hope that you enjoyed keeping up with this project if you've been watching it since the introduction. There is a playlist that I'll have linked in the end card as well as in my description box, so you can check out all the other creators here on YouTube. There is also a hashtag Roulette PanCollab over on Instagram if you want to go check out everyone's finales. And yeah, that is everything. Thank you so much for all of your encouragement over this entire journey, not just in this round, but in other rounds in the past as well. And thank you so much for watching and for being here. It means so much to me. But that, my friends, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.